Over time, analyzing many samples will contaminate the ion source and cause the system sensitivity to drop. Therefore, the ion source needs to be removed from the system and cleaned regularly. One of the advantages of the ISQ-MS is the ability to remove the source from the instrument without venting and replacing it with a new source in about 3 minutes. Tools and materials for removing and cleaning the ion source cartridge: source exchange tool, source holder, cotton swabs, forceps, analytical grade acetone and methanol, deionized water, 2 to 3 clean beakers, aluminum oxide abrasive powder, powder-free gloves, and sonicator. Remove the vacuum interlock knob by rotating it counterclockwise. Hold the source exchange tool with the picture of the diagram facing up. Turn the tool slightly to the left to insert it, and then turn right to lock it in place. Press the evacuate button. This causes the vacuum light to start blinking, indicating evacuation of the interlock. After 10 seconds, the ready-to-open light turns on, indicating the instrument is ready for source removal. Loosen and unfold the vacuum interlock handle, tighten it again, and lift up the handle all the way up to open the ball valve. Slide the tool handle into the instrument on the right side of the track. Make sure the tool is all the way in. Rotate the tool handle to the left and pull the handle back out on the left side of the track. Close the ball valve by lowering the vacuum interlock handle. Disconnect the source exchange tool by rotating it counterclockwise. Replace the vacuum interlock knob by rotating it clockwise. Collapse the vacuum interlock handle and press to evacuate button again. Now the ion source cartridge has been removed from the vacuum manifold into the exchange tool. System usage determines how often the ion source must be cleaned. The parts of the ion source that will become contaminated are the ion volume, lenses, and the repeller. These components directly affect the instrument's sensitivity. These source parts need to be cleaned abrasively using aluminum oxide powder to remove the contamination. Push down the metal intersection of the tool to expose the shaft. The ion source cartridge is attached to it. Using the source holder to hold the source in place, push down on the tool and turn to the left to separate the source from the tool. Hold the source holder upright to prevent the source parts from falling out of the source cartridge sleeve because the locking ring is not in place. Let the source cool down to room temperature. Remove each part from the source and lay it on a clean lint-free cloth. Mix the aluminum oxide powder with deionized water for cleaning the source parts. Source parts that must be cleaned. Repeller surface. All surfaces of the ion volume. And inside each hole, especially the filament hole. And the metal part of each lens. Use deionized water to rinse away the aluminum oxide powder and place the parts in a beaker. In order to avoid a collision between the metal and ceramic parts, place them in different beakers for sonication. Place the beakers in the sonicator and sonicate with deionized water for 5 minutes. Afterward, rinse the parts with fresh deionized water. Repeat the sonication using acetone and finally methanol. Set the GC oven temperature to 100 degrees to bake out the source for 10 to 20 minutes. Place the repeller insulator and repeller nutback on the repeller as shown on the video. Place the RF lens into the source sleeve. The bottom of the sleeve has a cutout, and the RF lens has a tab. Align the cutout on the source sleeve to the tab on the RF lens. Place lens 2 into the sleeve, with the large opening facing out. Assemble lens 1 and the ion volume together first, and then place them into the sleeve. One side of the ion volume is flat. Align the flat side tab on the ion volume to the cutout on lens 1. This is the only correct position. After the ion volume and lens 1 are put together into the sleeve, make sure the flat side and the sleeve's large opening are both facing up. Place the repeller assembly into the sleeve with the small side of the repeller facing out. Place the repeller spring over the repeller. Finally, place the locking ring on the source. Make sure all parts are in the correct position, and lock the source by pressing in and turning the locking ring counterclockwise. The first step is to place the ion source on the exchange tool. First, loosen the locking ring from the sleeve. Next, lay the tool down with the diagram facing up and push the middle section back to expose the shaft. Finally, line up the two cutouts on the shaft with the locking ring. Using your right hand to hold the source, connect it to the tool, making sure the flat side of the source is facing up by pushing in and turning the source left until the mark between the source and tool are aligned. Pull back the middle section to hide the shaft and source. Remove the vacuum interlock knob by turning it counterclockwise. Hold the source exchange tool with the picture of the diagram facing up. Turn the tool slightly to the left to insert it, and then turn right to lock it in place. Press the evacuate button. This causes the vacuum light to start blinking, indicating evacuation of the interlock. After 10 seconds, the ready-to-open light turns on, indicating the system is ready for source insertion. Loosen and unfold the vacuum interlock handle. Tighten it again and lift the handle all the way up to open the ball valve. Slide the tool handle into the instrument on the left side of the track. Make sure the tool is all the way in for proper contact. Rotate the tool handle to the right and pull the handle back out on the right side of the track. Close the ball valve by lowering the vacuum interlock handle. Disconnect the source exchange tool by rotating it counterclockwise. Replace the vacuum interlock knob by rotating it clockwise. Collapse the vacuum interlock handle. Press the evacuate button again. The ion source is now back inside vacuum manifold.